Hello and Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Akib Javed and I'm from D and doing my masters in public health. So today we are going to start our first topic of public health, which is zoonosis. So what is zoonosis and how we can define zoonosis? Zoonosis are diseases and infections which are naturally transmitted between vertebrate animals and human. This is the definition of zoonosis, and the word zoonosis is composed of two words, zoon and nosis. Zoon mean animals and nosis mean diseases. So the zoonosis is are diseases or agents that are naturally transmitted from animals, mostly the vertebrate or other animals, to human beings. That is the definition of zoonosis. So we move to our next slide and see why zoonotic diseases are so important. The reason these zoonotic diseases are important that most of the human diseases are the most of the human pathogens which cause diseases in the humans are also shared by the animals, which means that they have animal source. Almost 61% of the diseases are zoonotic in nature, and 64% of infectious agents are identified as zoonotic, and 73% of all new emerging infections diseases are also zoonotic in origin as well. So here we discuss who transmit the zoonosis or the diseases which are transmitted from animals to human. The major sources are farm animals or the wild animals and the vectors. Farm animals include cattle, goats, dogs, poultry, etc., while the wild animal includes rats, mice, raccoons, bats and others, and vectors like mosquitoes, lice, ticks and house flies, flies, insects, etc. So these are the agents or sources which transmit the diseases from animals to human beings. And who are at risk in human being? The people who are at higher risk of the zoonosis are mostly those people who have underdeveloped or not very strong immune system. These include infants, children aged less than 5 because your immune system are still developing, pregnant women, and people going under chemotherapy. Their immune system is also vulnerable, and people with other organ transplant, people with HIV and AIDS, and elderly patients as well. All of these groups of people are at high risk of these infections as well. Most susceptible groups are the farmers, livestock owners, and occupational group which live near to the animals are the people who share the habitat with the animals. These are most susceptible groups among the people. Those share air and space with animals and frequent contact with the domestic or wild animal. And who are at risk in animals? Animals including immunosuppressed are the animals which have higher yield, like genetically modified reptiles, chicks and duckling, puppies, kitten, etc. Puppies and kitten aged less than 6 month animal with diarrhea, and exotic and wild animals. So how we can classify these zoonoses or these diseases? These are classified into three basic types. Number one is etiological agents, number second is transmission cycle, and number third is a reservoir host. First classification, which is based on etiological agents, include bacterial, viral, rickettsial and chlamydial, mitotic or fungal, parasitic, and others. And bacterial include brucellosis, leptospirosis, etc. and viral include rabies, Japanese encephalitis, and dengue. Rickettsial and chlamydial includes typhus and ornithosis, and fungal include dermatophytosis and cryptococcus. Parasitic includes toxoplasmosis, babesiosis, leishmaniasis, etc. and others include roundworms, nematodes, etc. These are some of the classification of and other classification include mode of transmission like direct transmission, indirect transmission, etc. Zoonotic diseases are perpetuated in nature by single vertebrate species. Transmission could be either direct or indirect. For example, rabies, anthrax, tuberculosis, and brucellosis. And cyclozoonosis. What are cyclozoonosis? Are the diseases that require two or more vertebrate hosts to complete transmission cycle of an infectious agent. Cyclozoonosis are the diseases that require two or more vertebrae, that doesn't require just one animal. So it could be subdivided into obligatory cyclozoonosis and non-obligatory cyclozoonosis. Obligatory include humans must for the completion of the cycle, and for non-obligatory, the human is accidentally involved in the completion of life cycle. For example, hydatid disease or toxoplasmosis, while the obligatory include Tinea saginata, and metazoonosis. Metazoonosis include both vertebrate and invertebrate species that are involved in the transmission of an infectious agent. Invertebrate host agents may multiply, develop, or remain dormant, and that is subdivided into four categories: metazoonosis type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. Type 4 is trans-ovarian transmission. And next we will discuss now separozoonosis. Separozoonosis disease require non-animal substance for completion of life cycle. An infectious agent may multiply, develop, and propagate in the innate animal site. And this separozoonosis is divided into three types: separoanthrax, separoanthracoapozoonosis, separoemphysinosis, and seprematalthrypozoonosis. And these are three types of the separozoonosis. Next we will discuss in the next lecture classification based on the reservoir hosts.